If you are watching this, then we assume that you want to play college baseball. Here are some things that you need to know. Only 6.1% of high school baseball players will make a college roster this year. There are 1,600 colleges that play college baseball. There are 30,000 high schools in the U.S. Living in the South, we don't realize that these numbers are so huge. It breaks down like this. Division I has 294 programs that play baseball. Division II has 262. Division III has 368. NAIA 208. And junior colleges have 512. Junior college statistics to keep in mind. There are 512 junior colleges in the U.S. and 88 junior colleges located in California alone. Here are some players that have played junior college baseball. Number of scholarships at the college level. The NCAA allows Division I schools 11.7 scholarships in baseball. Therefore, about 50% of the players on those rosters are either on academic money, grants, or are paying their own way. Scholarships can be split up, but the minimum a Division I school can give is 25%. Division II schools are allowed 9 scholarships per program. Division III schools are not allowed to give an athletic scholarship. NAIA schools are allowed 12 scholarships per school. Division I JUCOs are allowed 24 full rides, though that number varies per school. Division II JUCOs are allowed 24 scholarships. Division III JUCOs cannot give athletic scholarships. Things you should know about the recruiting process. Besides the large Division I schools, college coaches have a limited budget that they can use on recruiting. They also have a limited number of people that they trust when it comes to evaluating potential recruits. Those people that they trust have had a long track record with them when it comes to giving them accurate information about potential players. Video has become a tool that is used much more than it used to be, but it is still not the major factor that gets a player a chance to play at that school. Since there are so many good players in the country, they must rely heavily on a scout that can give them quality information about a recruit. The intangibles are things that cannot be seen on video, and sometimes not even by a scout that has only seen that player a couple of times. Most players need someone that knows them and can help sell their abilities, their academics, and their personality to a program. That needs to be one of the following, or all three. Your high school coach, your summer coach, or a recruiting service that does not just send out info. What do college coaches look for? Baseball players are evaluated by 5 tools. Number 1, arm strength and throwing ability. Number 2, range and fielding ability. Number 3, speed and base running ability. Number 4, hitting for power. Number 5, hitting for average. On the mound, here are some common fundamentals evaluated. Arm speed, balance, each pitch thrown for consistent strikes, movement of pitches, overall mechanics, and velocity. Here is a list of myths and mistakes that every high school baseball player needs to know before they start the recruiting process. Myth and mistake number 1. My high school coach will handle all the recruiting stuff for me. I don't need to worry about it. Some coaches are very good at helping their players get the opportunity to play sports at college and have a great feel for the recruiting process and how it works. However, there are a lot of coaches who don't feel like this is a large part of their job description. They don't do as much as others in terms of contacting college coaches and sending out game films for their players. Whether or not your high school coach excels in this area or not, you must realize that this is your life and your career. You and your parents have to do everything in your power to make your dreams a reality. You must send your profile to every school that you are interested in. Do not leave it up to any coach. Most coaches do not have a national network of contacts, just regional contacts. These regional schools might not be the best fit for your personal college goals. Myth and mistake number 2. My high school coach is qualified to determine if I am college athletic material. Reality. While many coaches are, some are not, and many never played their sport in college. The bottom line, there are many factors that determine if you can play in college. Your high school coach may have no idea what your true potential may be. Being qualified to play in college has a lot to do with the style each coach plays. Some coaches like to recruit slugger athletes, and some coaches prefer to recruit versatile and athletic small ball type players. There are many factors that determine if you can play in college, and your high school coach may or may not be able to evaluate your future ability as it applies to college. Myth and mistake number 3. Playing college athletics will not be much different than high school, aside of the skill level. The reality is that playing college athletics is an unbelievable commitment in time and dedication. It is nowhere close to your high school or travel baseball experience. 77% of all freshman scholarship players quit or lose their scholarship by their senior year. In college, you will play or practice for 3 seasons. You will be required to lift weights and do running programs that are extremely taxing. You also will be practicing at 6 a.m. or midnight once or twice a day, depending on what facilities are available to your team. Myth and mistake number 4. If you're good enough, college coaches will find you. This is an age-old adage that is often heard throughout the recruiting process and is both outdated and incorrect. These words are often spoken by older coaches and is only true for 1% of high school players. This is simply not true for the remaining 99% of all high school baseball athletes. Myth and mistake number 5. If you receive a letter from a coach, you are being recruited. That is false. Coaches send out thousands of letters to high school athletes that they may or may not have heard of. There are probably 500 kids tearing open the same exact letter you received from the school. This does not mean you are being recruited. Myth and mistake number 6. Coaches do not like being contacted by prospective athletes. Quite the opposite. Coaches hope to hear from good athletes who are interested in their program. Some blue chip baseball players come to their attention naturally, but often there aren't enough blue chip baseball players in the college's backyard for a coach to fill his or her roster. Myth and mistake number 7. You shouldn't send your profile to a school unless you know you would like to go there, and you should probably only send your profile to a couple of schools. In order to give yourself as many options as possible when it comes to selecting a college or specific coach, you need to send your profile to all schools and baseball programs in which you may have interest in attending. Myth and mistake number 8. College coaches only recruit top players. In reality, college baseball coaches recruit anyone they think that can play at their program and recruit any player who has current skills or potential future skills and who shows an interest in their program. Just because you are not the star of your team does not mean you cannot play in college. Many great high school players have reached their peak. Other great high school baseball players don't have the work ethic to make it in college. Many don't have the grades and standardized test scores to play in college. There are many factors that weigh into recruiting. You don't have to be all-state. Myth and mistake number 9. Recruiting starts senior year. While some of the more aggressive parts of the process do happen when you are a senior in high school, the baseball players that start the process as seniors are often disappointed. It's a common occurrence to have verbal offers out and accepted for a graduating class as early as 18 months before your high school graduation. Myth and mistake number 10. College coaches can contact me anytime they want. In reality, there are strict rules as to when a coach can send you literature and how often they can contact you at the NCAA level. The rules are less stringent at the junior college and NAIA level. The good news is that you can contact college coaches at any time, so as long as you initiate the phone call. Myth and mistake number 11. Summer is scholarship season. Unlike the recruiting process, which is full of regulators and stipulations as to when and how a coach can contact an athlete, a scholarship offer can be made at any point. Just don't expect to get one too early. For a coach that starts out recruiting 45 baseball players for 6 positions, it would be imprudent to make specific dollar amount promises in the beginning of the process. Myth and mistake number 12. College recruiting is regional. In reality, baseball has become a global name. Look at the World Baseball Classic. Look at the MLB and NCAA college rosters. They are filled with international players. Myth and mistake number 13. I made all state, so coaches will be calling me. It's true that the most successful players will garner the most attention. Here's a problem. The average number of players on all-state teams in baseball is 40, and there are 50 states, which means there are 2,000 all-state baseball players each year. Myth and mistake number 14. I can walk on at the school of my choice and eventually get the chance to play. Most walk-ons end up as good intramural players. The media glorifies the walk-ons that make it for good reason because few do. Coaches over-recruit because college coaching is competitive and because of the attrition rate within college athletics. Thousands of very good baseball players each year find themselves cut after tryouts. These players are invited to try out and are little more than admission tricks to raise school enrollment. Myth and mistake number 15. Most of these scouting services that I have heard about are scams. This is not true. The key to qualifying the value of recruiting services is to investigate each service thoroughly. Talk to the service multiple times and ask them to differentiate themselves from other services. Ask a lot of questions about the service, the total cost, and their process. Many recruiting services are going to provide the service of emailing your profile, making you a professional highlight film, providing a college scouting report on you. Many will also provide unlimited guidance throughout the process. These are valuable services. Verify with each company by asking for referrals. What is their record of success? Recruiting services are not for every student athlete. If you're serious about getting a lot of financial assistance and you're 100% certain that you want to play college baseball at a high level, it's a solid investment. Myth and mistake number 16. Division I programs have big recruiting budgets. Some of the larger schools with top-notch football and basketball programs do have large recruiting budgets, but most do not. There are very few college baseball coaches that have the ability to fly around the country to recruit baseball players. Most also do not have an endless coaching staff that they can send out to scout each player. This is especially true when their team doesn't generate any money for their school, which is just about every Division I baseball team. This is one of the main reasons why student athletes need to become extremely proactive in recruiting colleges and universities. Myth and mistake number 17. All Division I programs have scholarships available. While the NCAA mandates how many scholarships a school can offer for a particular sport, it is up to the school whether or not they want to offer the number of scholarships allotted. Myth and mistake number 18. Division I programs do not offer walk-on tryouts. In reality, while walking onto a top 20 Division I baseball team will be pretty difficult, many coaches rely on walk-ons each year and will usually conduct tryouts to give as many players a chance as possible. It is better to find out what walk-on opportunities exist before you show up at tryouts. It is certainly not easy, but it is not impossible either. Myth and mistake number 19. Walking onto a Division II is easy. This is absolutely not true. Many top Division II programs are stacked with Division I transfers, junior college transfers, and very strong Division II baseball recruits. Just because it's Division II does not mean that making a team is not going to be extremely difficult. Myth and mistake number 20. Division III schools are weaker athletically. In some cases, yes, but in many cases, no. Many Division III programs have very talented athletic programs that are better than many Division II schools and even some Division I schools. They are still very talented and dedicated athletes who play Division III because they wanted to continue their athletic career in college. If you think you can just stroll onto a Division III baseball program, you are in for a big surprise. Myth and mistake number 21. I can't go to a Division III school because I need an athletic scholarship. Many Division III schools offer attractive financial aid programs, and you should not overlook any school, even if they do not offer athletic scholarships. Many student athletes go to Division III schools for free because they are good students. Many have financial family needs and use that leverage to get the best financial deal possible. If you get a $10,000 athletic scholarship at a $30,000 Division I or Division II school, you still have $20,000 a year to pay. Myth and mistake number 22. All colleges offer athletic scholarships. Only Division I and Division II colleges can offer athletic scholarships, plus junior colleges and some NAIA schools. Division III programs can only offer financial aid, and and academic grant money. Myth and mistake number 23. Athletic scholarships are 4-year contracts. One of the most common misconceptions is that a scholarship, whether it is full or partial, lasts 4 years. By definition, a scholarship is a 1-year renewable grant. Renewals are not automatic, and the college must notify the student in writing by July 1st of his or her scholarship status. Therefore, even the proverbial full ride is only guaranteed for 1 year. Myth and mistake number 24. Most athletes get a full athletic scholarship or no scholarship at all. Full scholarships are very rare, and most coaches divide scholarship money up between several players. 98% of guaranteed full scholarships are for Division I basketball and football. Baseball divides money up to many players, and no other team or program is guaranteed to be fully funded. Rarely do baseball players see their tuition, room, board, and fees covered for an entire 4 years. Myth and mistake number 25. Most athletes are on some type of an athletic scholarship. Under the NCAA, including Divisions I, II, and III, only 30% of student athletes are on any form of athletic scholarship. Myth and mistake number 26. Grades don't matter if I am a good player. If you don't earn a 3.0 GPA or higher, over 50% of NCAA Division Is won't be able to get you past the admissions office. Grades are becoming the single most important factor in recruiting. Admissions and administration offices are putting more pressure on athletic departments to recruit athletes that succeed once they get into school. Sure, you may be eligible to be recruited as a Division I athlete with a 2.3 core GPA, 820 SAT, or 17 ACT, but unless you are a top blue chip baseball player, not many schools are going to recruit you. Myth and mistake number 27. College coaches will help me get into school if I am on the bubble academically. Reality, while being recruited by a college baseball coach can be an advantage over applicants that are not athletes, you need to be very close academically to what the school seeks out in any student. Baseball coaches can submit a list of names to the admissions department, but you need to be committed to the coach and express a strong interest in attending that institution. At the end of the day, admissions make admission decisions, not coaches, and many students that thought they were a shoo-in for admissions will get rejected. It can also depend on the needs of an individual teams and the number of applicants that the school is dealing with in a given year. Myth and mistake number 28. Showcases and baseball camps will get me a scholarship. The main problem with showcases is that 100 players may attend, and Division I baseball coaches will be watching the same 5 or 10 players. That's how showcases work. The baseball coaches have already identified the potential Division I student athletes that will be there. If a player is intent on going to a showcase, it is critical for that athlete to pinpoint around 10 schools they are interested in and find out which showcases those schools will be attending. Just showing up to any random showcase and hoping to get discovered is not a good idea, as they will undoubtedly be overshadowed by the better players and not gain much from the experience. Also realize many of these events' main purpose is to generate revenue. What you get when you sign up with the College Baseball Recruiting Service. We will evaluate the player annually and give feedback on what skills need to be improved in order to play collegiate baseball. We will create a video each year to add to the player's profile on our networking service. We will help you set up a player profile on our networking system where you can add your own personal videos to your profile. We will send the player's profile out to every school in the U.S. that fits the skill set of the player. We'll advise the parents and players on each and every step of the recruiting process until that player has made a decision on a school for them. We'll pay for a camp that a player will attend and be evaluated by collegiate coaches of all levels. We'll communicate through email, phone calls, text, and face-to-face conversation with collegiate baseball coaches that are a fit for the player. We'll advise you and give you information on each and every school that you have interest in. We'll personally contact your top 5 choices through a phone conversation or face-to-face conversation with that coach. We'll document and send out all of your improvements on your skill and/or your academic progress. We will be a sounding board for any of your questions or concerns at any time. We will be with you every step of the way through your recruiting process. Here are a few testimonials from past family members of the College Baseball Recruiting Service. Here's a list of some of our latest senior recruits. If you have any more questions about the recruiting process or are ready to start that process, contact one of our coaches at cbrscoaches@gmail.com.